Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. The following content is for informational and educational purposes only. All news footage and commentary are presented under fair use. Viewer discretion is advised. Before we begin, please note, the following content is for informational and educational purposes only. All news footage and commentary are presented under fair use. Viewer discretion is advised. Breaking news develops fast. Stories change by the hour. This is your rapid-fire briefing on what's happening right now. On August 6, 2025 at approximately 9:15 a.m., Fort Stewart, Georgia was rocked by gunfire when an Army sergeant opened fire inside a training facility, according to official military sources. 5 soldiers were wounded in the attack. Emergency medical teams responded within minutes, providing immediate aid before victims were transported to local hospitals. All are reported to be in stable condition. Military police and federal agents swiftly secured the area, placing the base on lockdown. The suspect, identified as Sergeant Quornelius Radford, was apprehended without further incident. Authorities confirm there is no ongoing threat. Officials are investigating the motive, but early reports indicate no evidence of terrorism. A press conference held this afternoon provided updates and reassured the public that the situation is under control. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the sports and entertainment world, ESPN and the NFL have announced a groundbreaking merger of their fantasy football platforms. This isn't just a simple partnership, it's a full-blown integration, creating what many are calling a multi-billion-dollar sports entertainment monopoly. The implications of this merger are vast, potentially reshaping how fans engage with the sport and how the fantasy sports industry operates as a whole. We're talking about a seismic shift in the landscape, folks. The unified platform, leveraging the brand recognition of ESPN and the unparalleled popularity of the NFL, is poised to completely dominate the fantasy sports industry. This raises significant questions about competition and user choice. Will smaller platforms be able to survive? Will users be forced to accept the terms and conditions of this new behemoth, regardless of their preferences? The potential for stifled innovation and reduced consumer options is a real concern, and regulators will be watching closely to see how this merger plays out in the long run. This move signals a new era in the sports industry, where broadcasting giants, powerful leagues, and direct fan engagement are merging into one incredibly powerful entity. We're witnessing the convergence of content creation, distribution, and community building on a scale never seen before. This integrated approach allows for unprecedented control over the fan experience, but it also raises concerns about the potential for conflicts of interest and the concentration of power in the hands of a few. Shifting gears to the world of politics, Illinois and Texas have finalized highly partisan congressional redistricting maps. These maps, redrawn every 10 years following the census, will shape the landscape of American politics for the next decade, influencing everything from congressional representation to policy debates. The process of redistricting is often highly contentious, with both parties vying to create districts that favor their candidates. In Illinois, Democrats who control the state legislature drew maps that heavily favor their party, aiming to solidify their hold on congressional seats. Meanwhile, in Texas, Republicans wielding their power in the state strategically protected their incumbents and created new GOP-friendly districts, further entrenching their dominance in the state's congressional delegation. These contrasting approaches highlight the deeply partisan nature of redistricting in America. Unsurprisingly, these maps face immediate and intense legal challenges. Critics argue that they disenfranchise voters, particularly minority communities, and exacerbate political polarization by creating districts that are overwhelmingly dominated by one party. The lawsuits allege that the maps violate the principles of fair representation and equal protection under the law, and they seek to have the maps redrawn by the courts. The outcome of these legal battles could have a significant impact on the balance of power in Congress and the future of American democracy. On August 7, 2025, sweeping new U.S. tariffs officially took effect, reshaping the landscape for imported goods and global trade. The tariffs target a wide range of products, including electronics, automobiles, steel, and agricultural imports, from major trading partners like China, the European Union, and Mexico. According to White House officials, the move is aimed at protecting American industries and addressing what they call unfair trade practices. But economists warn that consumers could soon see higher prices on everyday items from smartphones to groceries, as costs ripple through the supply chain. International reaction has been swift. China and the EU condemned the tariffs and signaled possible retaliation, raising fears of a broader trade conflict. U.S. business groups, including retailers and automakers, are urging the administration to reconsider, warning of supply chain disruptions and increased costs for both businesses and consumers. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are divided. Some praise the tariffs as necessary, while others warn of unintended consequences for U.S. exporters and farmers. As the new rules take hold, all eyes are on the coming weeks to assess the economic fallout and watch for further diplomatic developments. Meanwhile, a historic heat wave and devastating wildfires put millions of Americans at risk across the western United States. Record-shattering temperatures are straining power grids and creating life-threatening conditions for vulnerable populations. Firefighters work around the clock, but the scale of destruction is overwhelming resources as smoke travels thousands of miles. The contrast is stark. While one community celebrates future success, others fight for immediate survival against climate change's terrifying reality. The world never stops turning, and neither does the news cycle. This past week has been a whirlwind, a relentless torrent of events that have touched every corner of our society. From the heartbreaking tragedy at Fort Stewart, a stark reminder of the sacrifices made by our military families, to the shocking upsets in the sports world that left fans reeling. We witnessed a devastating loss in Hollywood, a cultural icon whose influence spanned generations, and observed the intricate political maneuvering in Washington, D.C. as lawmakers grappled with critical decisions. Corporate mergers reshaped industries, promising both innovation and uncertainty for workers. And looming over everything, the ever-present climate crisis continued to unfold, with new warnings and urgent calls for action. This week delivered a relentless stream of news, each story vying for our attention. Staying informed in this age of information overload isn't about memorizing every single detail or chasing every breaking headline. It's about cultivating a deeper understanding of the underlying forces that are shaping our lives, the lives of our fellow citizens, and the future we're building together. It's about discerning patterns, connecting the dots, and critically evaluating the information we consume. Whether we're celebrating moments of community joy, offering support during times of collective loss, or engaging in crucial conversations about the challenges we face, being connected to the news means being connected to each other. It fosters empathy, encourages dialogue, and empowers us to participate more fully in our society. It reminds us that we are all part of something larger than ourselves. History isn't just something that happened in the distant past, confined to textbooks and dusty archives. It's a living, breathing narrative that's being written every single day, in headlines both big and small. The decisions we make today, the actions we take, will become the history of tomorrow. Understanding the context of the past helps us navigate the present and shape a better future. In a world saturated with information, paying attention is not just a right, it's our first and most fundamental civic duty. It's the foundation upon which informed decisions are made and a responsible society is built. Keep watching, keep reading, keep listening, and above all, keep asking questions. Demand answers, challenge assumptions, and never stop seeking the truth. This is News Trail, your briefing on the pulse of the nation, your guide to navigating the complexities of our world. Have a pleasant day. Before we close, please note, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All media and content presented in this video are used under these fair use guidelines, with the intent to inform, educate, and foster public discussion. Thank you for watching News Trail.